Hello everyone. Today's video will explore the reasons behind the potential removal of Jon Jones's title. Join us as we uncover the undisclosed facts. The heavyweight championship in the UFC has been in a state of uncertainty for an extended period, and it is definitely time for a shift. Following Tom Aspinall's remarkable display last night, where he successfully defended his interim heavyweight title in a mere minute, it has become evident that decisive action is necessary. The current circumstances have escalated to a level where Jon Jones should be stripped of the title, as the division can no longer tolerate this stagnation. The prolonged uncertainty surrounding the heavyweight title in the UFC has reached a critical juncture, and a change is urgently needed. Tom Aspinall's astonishing performance last night, where he defended his interim heavyweight title in just 60 seconds, highlights the pressing need for movement within the division. Given the current state of affairs, it is essential to consider stripping Jon Jones of the title, as the heavyweight division cannot afford to remain in this state of limbo any longer. This situation mirrors the UFC's need to reconsider the fight between Jon Jones and Stipe Miocic, which is scheduled for the same month. The division requires a fresh start, especially since Aspinall has fought and defended his interim title 3 times while Jones has been absent. Not only has Aspinall been active, but he has also won his title fights in remarkably quick fashion, showcasing his readiness for the championship. Sergey Pavlovich has emerged as a formidable contender, demonstrating his prowess by easily defeating Curtis Blaydes last night, further complicating the title picture. It's hard to argue that Jon Jones, who last fought nearly 2 years ago against Ciryl Gane for a vacant title, has a stronger claim to the championship than Aspinall. If the UFC insists on pursuing the fight between Jones and Miocic, it's essential to recognize that this matchup doesn't necessarily need the title to hold significance. The UFC has a history of stripping champions, as seen with notable fighters like Randy Couture and Frank Mir, and it's time to consider a similar course of action to revitalize the heavyweight division. The UFC has made some significant changes recently, including stripping Mir of his title. It's been a staggering 512 days since Jon Jones last stepped into the octagon. Yet during the post-fight press conference, the conversation was buzzing with excitement about a potential matchup between Jones and Stipe Miocic. Dana White seemed particularly enthusiastic about the prospect, suggesting that the winner of this bout would face Aspinall. However, there are a couple of complications with this scenario. For one, Dana has mentioned that he believes Stipe might retire after his fight with Jones, which means if Stipe wins, he may not be available to fight Aspinall. Additionally, while Dana thinks Jones might be inclined to fight Tom Aspinall, Jon has shown more interest in challenging light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira, or even considering retirement. This situation poses a risk of losing what could be a historic fight between Tom and Jon if the Miocic bout goes ahead. As a huge fan of Stipe, I can't help but feel that if this fight had taken place a few years ago, or if it were for a title, I would be fully supportive of it. However, the current circumstances surrounding this matchup seem rather absurd. Ironically, Dana White mentioned that it would be foolish not to have Aspinall as a backup for the fight scheduled in November, which suggests that perhaps everything will work out in the end. Yet it's important to note that Tom Aspinall winning isn't the only noteworthy event from UFC 304. If you caught our discussion video about the main event, you'll know how much I admire Belal Muhammad. After his victory, I found myself reveling in the moment, especially knowing that many fans were upset with the outcome. Setting aside personal feelings, the most significant takeaway from Belal's win is the reminder that merit still holds value in a sport where entertainment often seems to take precedence. It's not an easy path for fighters like Belal, as a more marketable athlete would likely have received opportunities much earlier in their careers. Interestingly, this situation mirrors that of Leon Edwards before he became a champion. He too faced obstacles due to a lack of interest in seeing him in title contention. This highlights a recurring theme in the UFC, where talent and hard work sometimes take a back seat to marketability. But Belal's success serves as a beacon of hope for those who believe in the importance of merit in the sport. The journeys of these 3 men illustrate that excellence and victory are key components in reaching the pinnacle of their sport. While opinions on Bal Muhammad may vary, and some might not have appreciated his recent performance, it is undeniable that he has truly earned his opportunity to compete for the title. He approached the fight with an intensity that was palpable, showcasing his determination and skill, which ultimately led him to secure that championship. In a world where popularity and entertainment often overshadow merit, Bal Muhammad's consistent winning streak positions him as a champion, and that status is something that can only be taken away through hard-fought competition. On a similar note, Paddy the Baddy has just achieved the most significant victory of his career at a crucial moment, especially after facing challenges both inside and outside the octagon in his recent fights. This time, he didn't just edge out a win against a fading star or rely on the judges' favor. Instead, he delivered a decisive finish against a well-ranked opponent. This impressive submission not only showcased his skills but also solidified his place in the rankings, earning him the coveted number 15 next to his name. With a fresh contract signed with the UFC, it's clear that Paddy is here to stay, and his future looks bright. Following the event, Dana White acknowledged the unique atmosphere of the English crowds, while also critiquing the lack of enthusiasm during 7 consecutive decisions. However, one might argue that the early morning timing of the event played a significant role in this subdued response, especially since the UFC did not adjust the schedule to accommodate the local audience. Given that the UK has become one of the largest markets for the sport, with a staggering £6.7 million generated at the gate, it seems reasonable to suggest that starting events 5 hours earlier could enhance the experience for fans. After all, if the UFC truly values its relationship with the UK, making such adjustments could be a small yet impactful step in fostering that connection. It seems like you're heading to England a couple of times a year at this point, especially considering the scale of the operation and the incredible fan base that's always ready to tune in, no matter the hour, when the UFC goes international. It's time to embrace those local time slots for the fans who are eager to support the events. With a staggering $1.3 billion in revenue last year, I think the UFC can afford to take a slight hit on international card buys. We've already endured a series of lackluster Apex shows, and what we really crave is the electric atmosphere of those UK crowds, who are known for their passionate singing and enthusiasm. UFC 304 marked the first return to Manchester since Bisping's title defense against Henderson. The event featured 14 fights, with a mix of knockouts, submissions, and 9 decisions, resulting in a cage time of 2 hours, 47 minutes, and 47 seconds. 8 favorites and 5 underdogs emerged victorious, including new welterweight champion Modestas Bukaus, who secured his win via a third-round submission. Intriguing statistics from the night included Arnold Allen absorbing the 5th most significant strikes of any fighter in the 145-pound division without ever being knocked down, Gregory Rodriguez achieving a personal best with 4 takedowns, and King Green boasting double the professional bouts of Paddy the Baddy, but securing 6 UFC wins in his first 6 fights. Tom Aspinall set a new record for the shortest average fight time in UFC history at just 89 seconds, while the new champion, Bal, achieved a career-high 9 takedowns and won 47 out of 7 5-round bouts. Bal also has the most control time against Leon ever at 12 minutes and 2 seconds. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and leave a comment in the comment section below.